latest Board of Selectmen meeting made crucial decisions, from a new chair, permanent hire of interim town administrator, and the next step regarding a new police chief. The story ahead.
Plus, the Recreation Commission is in good shape for spring sports. Find out how they plan to improve town fields.
Also coming up, local stars. See what high school juniors produced a musical that debuted at the Drama Studio in Springfield.
And later, our weekly segment, Library Learning. Find out what new events are coming your way.
Those stories and much more ahead on ELCAT News Update. Good evening, I'm Rebecca Green.
And I'm Courtney Ingalls.
We begin tonight with the latest Board of Selectmen meeting held on Wednesday, March 16th. The meeting began with a motion made by Selectman Billy Gorman to appoint a new chair.
I motion that we remove Paul Federici as chair of the Board of Selectmen and to replace him with Angela Thorpe.
Point of Robert's rules, since this is new business, it has to be taken up under the new business section of the meeting, which is farther down.
Because he has acted in an improper manner.
You made your motion. It's been delayed till later. Please. Our first.
I make a motion to change the order of the agenda. I make a motion to change the order of the agenda. Second it.
Second. Nobody moved it.
So move it.
You don't have to move a motion?
Move it. Billy, move it. Move it, Billy. And I'll second it.
I motion that we move Paul Federici as the chair of the Board of Selectmen and to replace him with Angela Thorpe because he has acted in an improper manner that has caused us to lose faith in his ability to impartially lead the board.
I'm sitting amongst team corruption, and you're saying that?
So moved.
Attempted to barge the reputation of the town administrator by innuendo and slanderous remarks. Attempted to disparage the reputation of other members of the board by statements to the press that we believe to be false. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
None.
I make a motion to close the discussion. Second?
Second.
No vote. All in favor? Original motion to remove the chair?
Aye.
Aye.
With Angela Thorpe as the new chair, the meeting proceeded to cover the next item on the agenda, the search for a new police chief. Taking a step back to last week, the search committee proposed that the Board of Selectmen stop the search and extend Mellis's contract until a thorough process can be conducted. Selectman Billy Gorman made a motion regarding the next step in the search process. However, audience members could not hear. Thorpe asked interim town administrator Greg Neffinger to stand up and read the motion to the audience.
I motion that the board appoint Sergeant Jeffrey DeLessio as chief of police for the town of East Longmeadow, and that we empower Billy Gorman to negotiate a contract.
He can't even give you the right piece of paper.
Considered ratified by 2 signatures of the Board of Selectmen. If a contract cannot be negotiated,
Which it won't be.
then we empower Billy Gorman to appoint an interim police chief until the selectmen can reconvene and continue a search for a permanent police chief.
How can he appoint himself?
That was seconded by Selectman
Thorpe, of course, his girlfriend.
and the vote was 2 in favor and 1 against.
Halfway through the meeting, the town's IT department set up microphones. The next item on the agenda, Neffinger's contract, was heard loud and clear by audience members, leading them to voice their comments.
The interim town administrator's contract.
Wow.
Termination.
Who's in charge here?
I make a motion that the board hire Greg Neffinger as permanent town administrator and for Angela Thorpe to negotiate a contract to be considered with the signatures of 2 board members. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
There's
Anybody
discussion.
opposed?
There's discussion. First of all, through the chair, when we put this contract out to bid, the prerequisite was that the person who got the interim town administrator's job was not eligible for the permanent town administrator. That was Selectmen Thorpe's idea, put that in the contract. Now they're doing an about face and hiring our interim town administrator, which I think is bull crap.
All in favor?
Point of order, you cannot vote on it due to the stipulations in the interim town administrator's contract.
That was the first one, not the second one.
Oh, okay. The second one was a continuation of the first one.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
You can watch the entire meeting on our ELCAT YouTube page, ELCAT 01028.
Moving on to another town meeting, the latest Recreation Commission meeting talks enhancements for parks and town fields. First up, center field.
Some of the highlights that we're working on is skinning center field, which is our center softball field, which has been a what field is this question for many, many years, because it was essentially a flat baseball field, which baseball won't use and softball won't use, because there's no mound and the softball won't use a grass infield. So we're looking at the use of that really being...
This is the field as opposed to the old Boston Market?
Yes. Yep, field right up in the corner there. So that's always been called center softball, and our softball program / t-ball program could really use a field right there. So if you skin it, you can use it as a 45, a 60, 65, and a 70 if you really felt like it. So you could put multiple base points on the field. So the goal is to redo that fan this year with hopes of getting the correct clay and everything installed, installing new bases, and getting that field being used.
Next on the enhancement list, tennis and basketball courts at Pine Knoll.
Believe it or not, before they put in the new tennis courts at the high school, that court was the best court we had in town. There's one up at Pine Knoll, and it's in okay shape. It does need a crack sealing and painting, so that's kind of going to be the goal for this upcoming season. We're going to be quoting that out with local tennis companies to come in and do that. They'll come in one day, boom, bang, it's all set and ready for the season. The other one is the court that's below it is a asphalt court, and the goal with that is to work with our basketball association to re-asphalt and put in actual basketball hoops on that court and actually line it, paint it. And then what that would do is it would give us 2 different courts, 2 basketball courts at Pine Knoll. The goal there is to hook in with the Wilbraham Summer Basketball League to actually run a summer basketball league here at East Long Meadow. So kind of like how we work with some of our other sports where we do like a tri-town type league where we would do summer basketball with Wilbraham, and then also create our own adult basketball league that houses up at Pine Knoll.
Moving on to the park that has been getting the most attention over the past few weeks, Heritage Park. There has been talk on what upgrades can be done to the site to create more recreational use. With the pending town government, the earliest that the Recreation Commission could present their plan to the Capital Planning Committee would be July. For now, the Recreation Commission plans to meet with the DPW and school committee at the end of the month regarding that topic. We'll keep you posted when more information becomes available.
Lastly, the Recreation Commission discussed a summer event that will sure to be a hit for all ages.
Summer movie equipment follow-up, I think that go to you, Colin?
Yeah, that I updated at our last meeting. I gave you the pricing from the one-day information as well as the movie systems. It's right around $1,000 to put on that event for a one-night movie night.
On the topic of summer, expect the Recreation Summer and Fall flyers to be in your mailbox within the next few weeks. Flyers are also available online on the town's recreation website.
In local news, we have a feel-good story for you. The Senior Center began a new program called Compassion and Kindness Endeavor. The program allows members to give back. Each month, the group will invite an organization to take part in. This month, seniors made dresses for underprivileged girls through the organization Dress a Girl Around the World.
I want to introduce Marianne Gubalo, who is our reason for the Dress a Girl today.
Hi, I'm Marianne. I'm a senior at Western New England University right now, but I started doing Dress a Girl when I was in high school because I didn't have like a lot of time or money or anything, but I could do it once in a while whenever I did have time or money. So just like a little bit about Dress a Girl. Dress a Girl is a part of Hope for Women International, which Hope for Women really focuses primarily on Uganda. They work to empower women who are suffering from poverty, disease, and low self-worth through education and helping them to create businesses of their own. Dress a Girl, however, is more international in reach. They have delivered dresses to over 85 different countries. My work with it, I've been really fortunate that LM Tarbell, which is a business here in East Longmeadow, has been shipping dresses for me at no cost, which is great because shipping is really expensive. We send our dresses to either headquarters in Arizona or to official ambassadors. I have contact with one in Connecticut who then is, like, they have connections with various missionaries who are going to go overseas. They pack them in their bags and then deliver them by hand to girls.
In other local news, ELCAT covered the annual corned beef luncheon hosted by Police Chief Doug Mellis in honor of St. Patrick's Day. There was a large crowd who went to enjoy the traditional Irish food and, of course, good company. This is Mellis' 10th year hosting the luncheon. All donated canned food items went towards the East Longmeadow Food Pantry.
From St. Patrick's Day to Easter, Boy Scout Troop 275 of East Longmeadow will get you ready for the holiday with an Easter plant sale. The troops will sell lilies, mums, daffodils, tulips, and more. The plant sale takes place on March 25th and 26th at Hamden Engineering on Shaker Road.
Speaking of events, we'll jump into our weekly segment, Library Learning, where we let you know what events are coming up next at the East Longmeadow Public Library.
Before we talk about upcoming events, let's take a look at the library's latest event, Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction, where audience members learned how to deal with stress.
Talk about what stress is. You're going to tell me what stresses you out and how you know you're stressed. And then I'm going to give you the definition that they used at the clinic, at the stress clinic in Worcester. Then I'll take you through something called the stress reaction cycle. And that is how our body and our mind responds to stress. And then we're going to do a couple of mindfulness exercises because this will give you an experience of what mindfulness feels like in your body.
Now for upcoming events. Get ready for a colorful night with the event called Paint Like Van Gogh. This one's for adults only. No painting experience is needed, and the library will supply all necessary materials. Space is limited, so register at the library. The event takes place on Saturday, April 2nd at 1 p.m. in the library community room.
We shift from art to science. This next event is for those who are frustrated with standard medical care. A medical librarian from Bay State Health will be visiting the library to talk about alternative medicine and what to look out for when researching medical information. The event takes place on Monday, April 4th at 6 p.m. in the library community room.
Lastly, an event that will get you organized. With winter winding down, you'll need to pack away those heavy layers and bring out those spring clothes. What better time to learn how to declutter and organize your household? Make sure you sign up for the program Make Room for Clarity. The program will teach audience members realistic suggestions for decluttering and letting go. The event takes place on April 6th at 6 p.m. in the library community room.
In order to register for library events, there are different ways for residents to go about it. The latest Board of Library Trustees meeting addressed how the public can find registration tools online.
We have lots of great, fun, informative programs. They're all available on our library website, eastlongmeadowlibrary.org. The children's website is elplkids.org. And you can now register for programs online from the website or from the monthly calendar, which is accessible from the website. And when you do register online, we have the ability to email you a reminder as the program draws near. So that's another nice thing. We also have another new program that we're introducing. It's email alerts. And if you sign up, give us your email, we will actually send you periodically, we're not going to flood everybody's email constantly, but you will get an email from us about new programs, not monthly repeating programs, but new programs.
That meeting also talked about a library wish list. The wish list will not only benefit the library, but also residents with new items, such as laptops, special classes, and more.
The library wish list, which, I just want to give you a quick update. We have placed our order for 12 Chromebooks and a storage cart through the IT department. They're going to help us with this. They'll set them all up and get them ready to go and then bring them over. We hope to have them by late April, and just the other day Jenny Kinder and I sat down with a young man who we are trying to work out times for him to teach coding classes. So the other thing is, I had Bruce Finney asked him to come over one morning, and we did speak about the circulation desk, which is in need of some work. It's too high. It's got issues. It's had issues for many years.
Since day one.
Yeah.
Since day one.
Yeah. So he suggested that we think about capital improvements to the library.
Now it's time for this week's local stars. East Long Meadow High School juniors Dan Kelly and Michael Nevins produced a musical parody called To Kill a Mockingjay. After years in the making, the musical debuted at the Drama Studio in Springfield. To Kill a Mockingjay is a creative and comical mix between the novel To Kill a Mockingbird and the popular film The Hunger Games. Earlier this month, I sat down with the two stars to see how their creative process began.
Behind the making of this play, we were both at rehearsal with the East Long Meadow Drama Club, and we were kind of done. We wanted to cut our ties with the East Long Meadow Drama Club, and we said, let's see what we can do on our own. Let's see how much two students can do. And we were walking around the high school. It was a late night after a rehearsal, and we were just thinking, what could be a musical that should not be a musical? Like if Forrest Gump was a musical, it just wouldn't make sense ever in 1,000 years. So we picked The Hunger Games, and I just started singing Everything Sucks in District 12, and we took that and eventually made it into our first song in our musical, Everything Sucks in District 12.
It just originated from Michael just singing that silly song about that, and then we had to write it down on pieces of actual physical paper because our phones were dead, and then we were like, we stopped doing it. We stopped writing it after a while, and then we kind of just drifted away, lost interest, and then our friend Julia Adamo happened to see it or find it somewhere, and she was like, guys, this is really good. You should continue doing this. And so after losing interest for a while, we got back into it, and we never really stopped from there.
We'll end tonight with a reminder for residents. April 12th is a local town election where residents will vote whether or not to pass the charter that will restructure the town's government. The latest Charter Commission meeting talks more about educating the public.
This is, here we can pass these down. This is a copy of what is on the ballot, the ballot question as we have written it. It should look familiar to people. We had talked about that perhaps being an ad. I thought I would bring it so you could see it in all its glory, and we can discuss whether we want this or something else.
Well, I like the idea of publishing the wording, because that way some people will see it before they walk in and see it on the ballot. And that's good.
At the April 12th town election, residents will also vote between the two final candidates who are running to serve on the Board of Selectmen if the charter does not pass. On March 15th, residents headed over to Birchland Park Middle School to narrow down the Board of Selectmen candidates from 6 to 2. The final two, Kevin Manley and William Arment. Town Clerk Tom Florence announced the results just hours after the polls closed.
Angela Thorpe, 220. William Arment, 801. Bruce Finney, 689. Anthony Gentile, 434. Kevin Manley, 882. Joe Townsend, 222. So the total cast votes were 1,856, or 16.9%.
Well, that will do it for us tonight on this edition of ELCAT News Update.
Be sure to watch meetings on demand at our ELCAT YouTube channel, ELCAT 01028. Follow us on Facebook and watch us on cable channel 191. I'm Rebecca Green.
And I'm Courtney Ingalls. Until next time, good night.